Hi, it's Brian Newman with the Spotlight of Business Owner talk show. And today we're thrilled to have Tina Patton with the Hearing and Brain Centers of America. Yeah, hi, Tina. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. I know you're going to be a vendor and a guest speaker at my upcoming Elite Meet, Greet, and Eat event. It's our fourth luncheon that I put on, and they're all very, very successful, well attended and lots of opportunities. But I wanted people to meet you ahead of time and to learn a little bit about what you're going to be presenting at the event. If you could, yeah, let people know again who you are, what you do, and then, yeah, then we'll go into a little bit. I have a couple questions for you.
Okay. Well, I'm Tina Patton, and I'm a community educator for Hearing and Brain Centers. I used to own one of the offices. I was an office owner for about 11 years, and then Hearing and Brain Incorporated. So then I started the educational piece. I've had hearing loss since I was 23. I have a brother that's had loss since he was 5. He's an audiologist. And I have a dad that passed away of Alzheimer's. So this is all very important to me. I think it's very important information to get out to the public to make sure that everyone understands the correlation with hearing loss, tinnitus, cognitive decline with our brain health.
Oh, great, great. I know it's very, very common, and I know myself. Um, yeah, after playing the drums for many, many years and going to concerts for years, I have tinnitus and some
Yes.
hearing loss. But I was going to ask you, what is the medical recommendation for the age to get your hearing checked?
Well, usually we say about 50, but we know hearing loss can actually start in our 40s as well. So we move more toward looking at symptoms. What symptoms are we experiencing? So there are 5 symptoms, and we learn these symptoms from Dr. Darrow, who is a Harvard MIT neuroscientist and also a clinical audiologist. And he sets all of our protocols. So I mentored under him for a few years. So our 5 symptoms are tinnitus, what we were talking about, or tinnitus, however you say it. But the ringing, buzzing, ocean sounds, cicada noises, all sorts of things that we can hear in our head. So
Uh-huh.
usually tinnitus accompanies hearing loss. Now, there are exceptions to that, but that's usually what happens. So we know that then there's a breakdown between the ear and brain. The brain is not functioning as well as it should. It's trying to recreate sounds that it's not hearing. Understanding in noise. If we are not understanding in noise well, then the brain is no longer capable of pulling the speech out from the noise. And we know that that's a symptom. Reduced tolerance to loud sounds. All of a sudden now our things sound louder, background noises, different sounds are louder. Reduced clarity. A lot of times we think it's because the person speaking to us is mumbling, but a lot of times it's the brain not being able to understand the speech, especially the soft consonant sounds, and then memory loss. So all of this is attached to our cognitive um, fitness, basically, and we want to try and slow that decline down as much as possible. So we always say, catch it early, treat it early.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say, what about if people notice, like when they're in a restaurant that, or even at a happy hour at a bar, and they're experiencing kind of difficulty in understanding who they're talking to, or not hearing them clearly. Is that a
Right.
sign also?
Yes, so that's what I was talking about. Understanding in noise. The second symptom is that the brain can no longer basically pull that speech understanding out. It cannot separate it from the background noise. And so, with proper medical treatment, then that helps restore a lot of that back, a lot of the clarity in the noise or clarity in general.
Oh, okay.
Well, we treat people with tinnitus too. So we have about a 90% success rate. A lot of people go in and they are told that there's nothing that can be done for tinnitus, but we have a pretty successful treatment.
Oh, interesting. Well, um, yeah, I was going to ask you, how important is it to treat hearing loss when it comes to the brain health?
It's very important. So we think sometimes of having hearing devices is more of a luxury, just so we don't have to say what, but we know there are a lot of connections now. So Dr.
Yes.
Lynn with Johns Hopkins a few years ago now, did studies, and what he showed in a big research study was people with untreated hearing loss have increased risk factors from 200 to 500% for cognitive decline. So more and more research is coming out, and Dr. Darrow keeps us on top of all of that. But when we don't have proper hearing, then we have a tendency to isolate. And I come from a family with lots of hearing loss. And of course, my dad ended up with Alzheimer's. But what we have a tendency to do is move to another room, or even when I was younger, 21, I wasn't going to dinners with my friends because I couldn't keep up. So we tend to isolate more, which is less stimulus to the brain. We have cerebral atrophy. So, like a muscle, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? It tends
Yeah.
to atrophy. And then cognitive overload. When our brain is not taking in the correct stimulus, it gets overloaded, it gets overwhelmed. And so when we fit properly with devices, with medical treatment, then it helps to relieve that overload of the brain. And then we remember maybe why we walked into the kitchen or where we put our
Oh,
keys,
wow.
that type of thing. So we want
Yeah.
to make sure that we're keeping the brain healthy. We even do cognitive assessments at our office, at FDA approved cognitive assessments. So we cannot cure, we cannot cure tinnitus, hearing loss, or cognitive decline, but we certainly can treat it. And then again, catch it early, treat it early. We can handle a campfire much easily, pour water on that and try to contain it more easily than we can a forest fire, right? So the earlier that we catch it and treat it, the better long-term health for our brain.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is the best way for people to reach you if they have questions, if they want to sign up for your service?
Well, I do a lot of symposiums around town, but of course, you can go to hearingtotinnitus.com, and that will give you all of our five valley locations and their individual numbers there. And if someone would like a book from Dr. Darrow, they can go to hbcabookoffer.com, and they can also request a free book, and that will be sent to them. And then they can hear from Dr. Darrow himself. He also has different videos online that you can go to listen to. But if you go to hearing to tinnitus.com, then that will give you all of the individual numbers, like I said, to the office.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I just want to remind our viewers once again, she's going to be over at the Elite Meet, Greet, and Eat luncheon that's coming up on July 16th. It's on Thursday over at the Platinum Lounge. It's the second floor of Dave and Buster's at Desert Ridge. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you in person, both
I'm
as a
looking for
vendor and a guest speaker. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I'll be at a table, and so I'm happy to speak to everyone, and I'll have plenty of information, and then I'll be speaking as well. So I'm very excited for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much for all that you do. All right. And yeah, if you have any questions, again, reach out to her 602-703-4198 or 623-236-5520.
Yes, and I do educational events throughout the valley. So if anyone is interested in that as well, I please contact me. I'm happy to do that as well.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tina. Good to see you.
Thank you, Brian. Nice to see you too. Happy 4th.
Oh, you too. You too. Bye bye.
Bye.